Hi y'all, this is Charity, F.R.O.G Crochet, and our devotion today is Come Sit With Me. She had a sister named Mary, who also sat at the Lord's feet and was listening to what he said. Luke chapter 10, verse 39. Mom, would you come sit with me? My daughter asked as she sat at the kitchen island completing her homework. Why? Do you need help? I questioned as I continued meal prep for dinner. No, I don't need help. I just want you to be with me, she answered. Immediately my heart softened and I stopped my task to sit beside her. My daughter's simple request convicted me of what was the best choice at that moment. So often I mistakenly think she feels most loved when I do acts of service for her, but the truth is she just wants me to be with her. As I reflect on this interaction with my daughter, I'm reminded of the story of Mary and Martha. Martha hospitably opened her home to Jesus and was understandably distracted by all the preparations that needed to be made for her guest. Her sister Mary, on the other hand, simply sat at Jesus' feet, listening to what he said. With so much to be done, Martha was aggravated that Mary wasn't helping her. When she brought her frustration to the attention of Jesus, he commended Mary for sitting with him and confirmed she had made the right choice. Luke 10, verse 38 through 42. My daughter's comment was the gentle nudge I needed to remember the value of being present with her and also with God. May I give you the same gentle nudge. Do or don't be so worried about tasks you think you need to do. Remember, God simply wants to be with you. Sit with Him. How can you intentionally sit with Jesus and with others today? And our prayer is, Lord, thank you for always welcoming me to sit with you. And for a deeper walk, read Luke chapter 10, verse 38 through 42. Okay. Some of y'all know that I've been working on the Sesame Street BOD blanket, and I've also been working on a second one that is not using the Sesame Street characters, just doing my own colors for two of my nieces. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get y'all pulled up on my phone so I can read the chat if I end up with anybody in the chat. Right now, it says I got one, which may be my daughter. And it may say two now. Whoops. Oh, let me turn off the volume. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now, if we have anybody hop in, I can read the chat there better. Okay. I've had some of them done. Now, I did have all the Sesame Street ones done. There was a few more that I needed to get done. And that's the original Big Bird. And this is what I did. That light is way too bright. Do you mind dropping that light down a little bit? It's a little too bright. Maybe it's me, the angle I'm sitting at. Alright. Go. There's that one. And this is the reverse of it. Quit flipping over. They're so big, they're flopping over. And of course, then there's this, because I ran out of the variegated. A lot of them, the reverse colors, I've ran out of the variegated, so I've been adding in this tan when I run out of that. So that's the big bird. I'm done. And I'm sorry if y'all hear a lot of rattling. I've got these in a bag so I can keep track of them. Let's see. I think that's the reverse of this. I'm not sure. I think they're in backwards order here. So, alright. This is Ernie, the original. Now, I couldn't find any colors close to him. The only one I really found any thing close to the colors was the Big Bird one. And I think Cookie Monster was one I had found that the colors were pretty close. Hey, Zach, welcome in. I got all the squares done for these blankets. I'm just showing y'all what they look like, and then next time I get on here, I will hopefully have at least one of them done and working on the other one, trying to get it finished put together, because I made 4 of each of these and the other colors that I'm doing on my own. I'm instead of doing the Sesame Street characters, because this is for 6-year. I don't remember. She might be 8. I don't remember how old my niece is. My sister told me, and I can't remember. Anyway, this is for one of the kids, her kids, and this is for the oldest of the girls, and then the Sesame Street one is for the middle child. So, as I've already made a baby blanket for the youngest, and I'm working on another blanket for her son, and I really need to get busy on that one, because I started that maybe last year. It was a temperature blanket for him. But anyway, here is the Bert, or the Ernie, sorry. Ernie's, that's what that one came. And that's the reverse of this one. She really can't tell much of a difference in these because of the type of stitch that it used. Other than this one was where the variegated run ran out, and I substitute with the tan again. So, anyway. That's the Ernie. And one of my favorites, Mr. Oscar the Grouch. He's Cookie Monster, and Oscar was one of my favorites. My ultimate favorite one they did not have on the Sesame Street characters for these hats, which was Snuffleupagus. He was my favorite of all. But my second favorites, I would have to say, would be Cookie Monster and Oscar. So here's the original of Oscar, what he's supposed to look like. And this is how colors I've used. And this is the reverse of this. See how much green. And then, of course, there's the one with the tan, because I ran out of the variegated. That's Oscar the Grouch. Then we have Grover, Mr. Grover. This is Superhero Grover. That's what he's supposed to look like. And then I liked how these turned out, because there's a big difference in these. There's that one where the variegated matches this one. And then there's the opposite. big difference between these two. And then there's the one where I've had to replace the variegated with the tan. Each one of these sets is going to have a little bit, the last square is going to have a little bit of the tan color in it, because every one of them, I had enough of the solid color, but didn't have enough of the variegated, and there was so little of the variegated that I needed to do for just one square. I just said, not going to go buy another skein of yarn just to finish it. So I used this other one as a substitute, that tan. So each set has one square that has that tan color in it. Okay, where did Bert go? Where did we put Bert? Ah, there he is. He got covered up. All right. Bert was the last one that I had to do. There's the original. And I like how this one turned out too. There's it's wanting to fold in. There's the one that matches that. And there's the reverse. That one. And there's that one. These two, I like how they turned out as well. It's the original. Trying to keep them stacked in order here. And that's the one where the tan came into play. So that one didn't have a whole lot of tan added to it, but it did have some. So, and then I will show you what I've been doing with the scrap yarns that was left over from these. I started a blanket. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this blanket when I'm done with it. I am thinking about donating it to my pastor found a new place that is actually local here. It's a guy that opens up halfway houses in Virginia for kids that age out of foster care, because the fact of these people don't get paid anymore to take care of these kids, and they just get kicked out and end up being homeless and don't have any car and stuff like that. Why these people don't try to help them get a job, get a car, whatever, before they, and try to actually at least help them get a place to stay. But a lot of them just get kicked out, and some of them may just get kicked out of the system itself. But anyway, he provides a halfway house for these kids, and well, I guess young adults, really, to kind of help them get on their feet, and have a place to live till they can get on their feet and get a job and everything. So I think when I get done with that, I'm going to donate this to it. But it's called Into the Light pattern. Crochet Crowd, Mikey does the pattern online, the tutorial, and there is a pattern that you can get. I think it's got the written pattern online somewhere that you can download. Anyway, this is what. Now, this one here, these purples, browns, and stuff, up to, I think this purple here, this really dark purple, or it might be just this teal here. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I don't remember which one I started on. It might be this dark purple was the last color. But anyway, this was from the blanket that I did with Seta, the collab I did with Seta. And I used the scraps from it, the leftovers. So this is like a scrap blanket. So this is the middle. Trying not to cover my mouth, but that's the middle of it. And then I just started using the scrap yarns from the Sesame Street pattern squares from the second blanket that I'm doing in the other colors. And anyways, that's what I've got so far. I do have the light purple over there to add to this. I haven't got that far yet because I just did finish the Burt squares yesterday. So anyway, and then I was blessed with the stitch pattern for Setta's John 3:16 shawl pattern border thing. And I started it, then I was like, well, I don't have the rest of it to do as a wrap. So it was just the border pattern. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do my stitch pattern of my shawl, which is this right here. This is my this and that shawl stitch pattern. I haven't done a video. I really need to get a video up of this. I haven't done it yet, but I started working on this. This is just today. I started this probably about, I think I got up about 11 o'clock this morning. So, and then worked on it just before I got on here. I was working on it when I was watching Kelly's live. But that's as much as I got done. And I had gone to Joann's and got me some KC 100% cotton. And I started out with this is full skein. That's what I've got left in that. And this one is called White Sand colorway. And I had started a different shawl that was a BOD shawl, and I was using cotton yarns, but I've got a different one that I'm working on. So I'm going to take this loose and add it to this one. So these fall colors will go on here. But this was scraps from some other stuff that other projects that I had already done, and I was going to add them to this. And I also had got some more. Oh, before I do show you the yarn, I got me some new pots and pans, and I wanted to put something between the pots and pans to keep them from scratching the insides and wearing out my pots so fast. And I just so happened to go through, I think it was Yarnspiration's website, and went through all their free, I didn't go through all their free, but went through a lot of their free crochet patterns. And I found this, and it is a pot or skillet protector. Now, it's supposed to be in different colors. I did just one color as I didn't feel like sewing in all the ends. So, and this has worked just in rounds all the way. And it's to help protect your pots and pans. But I just did the fall colors. And what was left of this, I added on that shawl. But that is another finished object. I think we have somebody else in. I think I've missed Susan K. Sorry, Miss Susan K. I didn't see you. Just now noticed that you're in. Welcome in. And then I had done a shawl in this one, and I'm going to add it to this one. This will be the last color I add, which will probably be the border piece, which will be the John 3:16 on that prayer shawl. So this one is called Santa Fe, and it does have some blues in it, which is this one right here. This blue, no, that blue right there is from something else. Sorry, that's a different cotton yarn. But this right here, I believe, is the Santa Fe right through here. Anyway, some of this is the Santa Fe. I don't know where it started, whatever, but this was part of that. So I'm going to border it with that. These other yarns that I'm going to show you is for this. I absolutely love gnomes. And I seen Connie do this with this particular pattern. She crocheted a little scarecrow thing out of this gnome pattern. Now she did the one with the eyes on it. I want to do it this way. Now this is called the flower gnome, but I am going to do fall colors, and I'm going to try to find a pattern for leaves and put different fall colored leaves on this, the hat part. So this is what I'm going to get. This was a free pattern. I think it was on Etsy, or no, I don't. You can go to Connie's Just Another Stitch, find one of her amigurumi, fall amigurumi videos, and she has the link for this pattern to be able to download it for free. And anyway, I'm gonna do that after I get these blankets done. That's my next project, is those. Anyway, now this is not going to be part. These two are not going to be part of the gnome. That's just some that I found that was on clearance for 97 cents. Was their big twist yarn, cotton yarns. It's so soft. Couldn't pass that up for 97 cents. So grab those two. They had more, but because I got these others, I didn't want to get too many. So anyway, I've already got the skin color for the gnome, and let's see, this was going to be the hat. No, not the hat. The shoes. That was going to be the shoes. This is going to be the hat, and that will be the hat and the pants. And then, yes, these will be the colors for the leaves. That was the closest green I could get. It's more of a teal color. It says rainforest. But these are all the KC yarns in 100% cotton. But these I was going to do for the fall colors. Yeah, I might do a second one if I can, and do this for the skin tone. But I already have one over there for skin tone. If I run out, I have this to fall back on, or even just use this for a different one. Make two and give one away. But anyway, I just grabbed that one. I guess I forgot that I had a skin color one, but I grabbed that one too. But that's these. And I guess whatever's left over, if I have enough even to bother with to add. I know these fall colors ones, especially the yellow and the orange and the red and that green, I'll definitely have enough of those to add to this other shawl over here. But that may be what I intended that solid color for, was for that shawl too. So anyway, I think that might have been the original plan, was to put it with that shawl. I may just do that, is add it with this shawl, have that variegated, the white sands, have that solid, and then do the Santa Fe. Anyway, that is my future plans for some other projects. But first, I really, really want to get the Sesame Street one done, and the other one with the different colors. I was so excited to find those Sesame Street One Hat Wonders when I did. I have been wanting them for it's been about 2 years, because that's what it said on YouTube, that BOD had that on her channel as a project. It had been 2 years. So ever since she had put it out, I've been wanting those little critters, and to do that for one of my nieces. which the one I'm doing it for, she really, really likes Winnie the Pooh. And if I could have found something like that with the Winnie the Pooh characters, that would have been awesome, because she would have absolutely loved that one over this. But because that's what there was, and I'm just doing that. So anyway, my new shirt, y'all see, my mother-in-law went on a cruise to Alaska, and I don't know, since I married my husband, um, we made it a tradition that it's it's I know it's kind of silly, but you know what? It does mean a lot to me that she thinks enough of me to do this. But when they would go to the beach and we were still here, we didn't get to go on the vacation with them. She would always bring something back for him, and then because I was added to the family and we actually lived here with them at that time. Uh, we lived upstairs. Anyway, when we first got married, and she would bring a little something back from the beach for me. And in one year, she brought these little glass sea turtles figurines. And I just absolutely fell in love with those. And she started me on that collection of my sea turtles. Um, and I just fell in love with sea turtles ever since she brought me that. I don't remember what year it was she brought me those. But anyway, when I would go to Missouri and visit my family and stuff, or even when we went to the beach and they didn't go with us, we would bring back stuff for his parents. Um, so we kind of started this little tradition, but she went on this trip. She's out in North Carolina now with the other families. Some of my husband's other siblings, him and one of his sisters, the other ones live here in Virginia. The rest of them are in North Carolina now. Um, but anyway, when she went on this said trip, she got everybody, all her 7 kids, something from Alaska. She got my 2 kids something from Alaska, and then she brought me this. And I just love this shirt. But anyway, like I said, when she started giving me the little sea turtles, she's like, I didn't really see anything that I thought you would like. And she's like, you may not care 2 cents for this turtle, but this is what I got you. And I just absolutely fell in love with them. And then she started giving me, when she'd go to the beach, when we didn't go, she started giving me these little glass sea turtles. And then I started getting them when I go to the beach now, because I just love sea turtles. Um, so I did find a book. I bought it somewhere. One of I think it's Crochet World magazines, had a sea turtle pillow, and I made one for my husband's cousin's wife, because she loves sea turtles. We had went to the beach with them, and I think her birthday was right before that, or it was during the week that we were out there. I can't remember. Anyway, I knew she loved sea turtles, and so I gave it to her as a birthday gift. And it turned out huge. And unbeknownst to me, her daughter had the same book, and it already made her one as well. But now her stitches was a lot tighter than the ones I had done, and I don't know if she used a smaller yarn. She may have used like a 3-weight or a 2-weight. I don't know. I just know that the one that I made for her was probably twice the size that the one her daughter made her. And they were in different colors, so she didn't mind. She absolutely loved it that both of us thought of her with that particular pattern. And we both gave her the um, same thing for her birthday, but they turned out differently. Similar colors, but there was some other colors that her daughter used than what I did. I think her daughter used a lot more darker colors than I did, but it was like a sea sea-themed colors, like a light blues or teals and some like tans and off-white kind of theme to it. Um, Beach colors is what I tried to keep it at. Anyway, but she absolutely loved it. I've got the pattern here somewhere at my house. I have no idea where it's at. It may be in my craft yarn room / office. I don't know. It's here, and I really need to make me one because I absolutely love that thing. That's part of the reason why I got it, was to make one for me, and then I ended up making one for her as well. Well, that was I guess I should say, my original intention, because her birthday was close, was to make one for her and then make one for myself later. But that was the plan, was to make one for her, one for me. I made one for her, did not make one for me as of yet. So, but hopefully one day I will. But with everything I've got going right now, uh, I don't know. But doing these others, and this has kept me going and kind of focused on getting this one done, was doing this on the side, because I get bored very easy with stuff. So when I got bored with doing those squares, I would work on this. Or as soon as I got done making those squares, it motivated me was to put that next color, the left, excuse me, the leftover color on this. That was my motivation to finish that set, was after I get this done, I can add this on here and add more to this scrap blanket. But anyway, because this has different stitches and stuff, it just stuff like that keeps me going instead of the same old song over and over again. I really need to get started on the critters for um, Vacation Bible School for next year, as I directed Vacation Bible School this last summer, and I only got one amigurumi done, which was the um, dolphin. Oh, Miss Kitty informed me we got somebody new come in. Who is it? Oh, hey, Lydia. Welcome in. How are you tonight? Anyway, and that, I think one of the characters this year is actually a dolphin again, um, because our theme is an underwater theme. It's called scuba. So we got ocean creatures this time. Now, our other one was jungle themed, and it had a dolphin, but it was a river dolphin. So, and the river dolphin is actually pink. And I did the dolphin. I used Crystal, the, sorry, let me get this right. The Yarny Chicken Crazy Cat Lady, I think, is her channel name. I used her dolphin pattern. I think we got somebody else in here. Well, hello, Crochet Queen. Welcome in. Lydia said she was great. Oh no, I'm sorry, Lydia. I hope you feel better. Yeah, Crochet, I'm guessing is China's what she's saying. Yeah, I have. It's been a while. um, I'm doing pretty good. The kiddos have been a little under the weather. They've been sick. Miss Kitty is doing better. So far that we know of, she's not had a fever, but little man has been running a fever. I actually had to go get him from school on Thursday. And then Friday, we had that Hurricane Helena Helene, I think is what they're calling it. It hit the coast. We got affected by some of it. We got lots and lots and lots and lots of rain. We had some wind in our area. I don't know of any flooding in Virginia. That I know of. I don't watch the news that much. But I do know from what my husband was telling me that in the state of Virginia, because of the wind and all the rain that we've had rain, I think, all week. Um, but it took, I guess, because the ground being so soggy and stuff from all the rain all week long, and then just a little bit of winds, it knocked over some of the trees because we're in the Blue Ridge Mountains area, and it don't take a lot up here when the ground is really soggy for these trees to start falling over when you got the hurricane winds added with the rain. So we end up with a lot of downed trees and usually a lot of places without power in this area. Um, so Friday morning, gosh, what time was it? About 9? Or was it 10? It was about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember. On Friday, which they had actually called us Thursday and told us that little man's school was closed, which that kind of worked out because he wasn't feeling good. Because later Thursday evening, he started running a fever. So that was like, okay, well, he's not going to be able to go on Friday, which I had already planned on keeping him Friday because he had been to the nurse about 2 or 3 times, and they finally called me and said, I think you need to come get him. So I had to go get him Thursday. I think it was about noon when I got him on Thursday, and it was raining Thursday, and it literally had rained all week here, but we've got, and you probably are hearing it. I've got the window AC running. We had so much rain that my carpet over here by this door is just soaking wet because it's just concrete, and right out the door is the ground, and the concrete soaks it up, and then this right here at the door gets wet. And actually, there was a spot right at my feet here that was wet too. I have no idea. I guess it traveled down through here and puddled up here, and it soaked the carpet. But it was funny because right next to this cabinet, dry, right in front of the door, soaking wet, and there's one little spot right here at the bottom of the stairs in front of this cabinet was a puddle. It was wet. Um, but we're hoping that, and my husband did take the shop vac and tried to get some of the water out of the carpet, but we're hoping the air conditioner will help draw some of that and dry it out as well. And of course, dummy me on Friday had started a load of clothes and wasn't thinking about it that the power would go out. And so we've got makeshift clothesline hanging from my ceiling in here to dry those clothes. So we're definitely redneck, hillbilly, whatever you want to call it, drying clothes inside the house. Because we just got our power back. What was it? Sometime this afternoon. It was after 12. I think it was like, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that when we finally, huh? 1 something? Okay. I don't remember. I was outside helping your dad bring stuff in, so I really didn't know what time it was. Sometime in the afternoon. I know it was after 12. We finally got our power back on. They actually estimated that we wouldn't get our power back until Sunday at about midnight. And the only reason why they were doing that was because this is the only house that got reported that 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 had no power. So they didn't make us a priority because there was only one house reported as being no power. And the only reason why that happened was that my husband took and made a power box, as you would say, took a lawnmower battery and somehow or another hooked up to where he can attach a power inverter to said battery, and he's hooked it all up into this cooler that you can this portable cooler that you carry around for situations like this because of Miss Kitty being homeschooled. That way, if we run out of power while he's not here, or he's at work or whatever, that she can take and unplug the computer system and the internet router and stuff over to that power box and still have internet to do her school work. So we at least had that. Had no lights, but there was enough light from outside a little bit for us to kind of see. We have oil lanterns. We had all those going and stuff like that. So, and then some of the, little man was homesick, but he still didn't have school because they canceled school because they were saying something about tornadoes, possible tornadoes in the area, bad weather, all this stuff. So they didn't want the kids out on the road or getting stuck in it. So they canceled school for Friday. But so we were just pretty much, but she had enough daylight in the room she was in just to see. But then my husband got the generator hooked up and running, and then helped me get some of these clothes hung up. But and he had went to town today because we were estimated to not have power back on till Sunday afternoon. So he went to town, went to the store, mainly was going to get cat food. Because that was one of the things on his list on Friday that he was going to pick up, but he didn't. He forgot to pick it up. So he went to town mainly to get cat food. But he also picked up some other stuff. I told him, I said, well, we need that. We need eggs because we've been eating, me and him are on this diet. We're trying to do a basically kidney healthy liver healthy, not kidney, liver healthy diet. No carbs, basically, like no pasta, no rice, no potatoes, no junk food, snacks, stuff, no sugars, basically. Now, he is allowing himself at least a piece of fruit a day. I have been getting like these sugar-free little cookie wafer things, because if you get the regular sugar-free cookies, like a chocolate chip cookie or anything like that, shortbreads, you can only have one of those. The sugar-free wafer ones, you can have at least 3 as one serving. So that's my sweet. And then I also had been drinking coffee, and I have changed over, instead of regular creamers, I've changed over to almond milk creamers, which has, I think, a lot less sugar in it. I'm not sure, but it's better for you than drinking the other coffee creamers. I've been putting that in my coffee, and I've been putting sugar-free artificial flavoring in my coffee. Now, my husband's been drinking it just straight black. I cannot drink coffee straight black. Just can't do it. Tried it, can't do it. And then he's been just drinking just regular black coffee and water. And then recently he's gotten him some unsweetened tea. I mean, completely unsweetened tea. He was drinking so much water. He wanted something with flavor. And yes, coffee had some flavor to it, but he wanted something else with a different flavor. So he went and got him some unsweet tea. But anyway, he has lost over 20 pounds. I have lost at least 20 pounds. I don't know if you can tell. I can't tell it by just looking at me here. But I can feel it, and I have noticed in some of my clothes that they are definitely getting a lot looser. Some of my jeans, I have to wear a belt with them to keep them up. So I'm glad that it's been good that um, I do feel better. I have to say. Um, and Lydia, I think you said something about your knee. Mm, I know all about that knee pain. Trust me. Physical therapy, you're saying, doesn't help your knee. I'm open that me losing some of this weight will help my knee. Um, I had an injury when I was in high school playing volleyball with this said knee, and then it actually started flaring up on me, acting up, and then dummy me tripped over my own 2 feet trying to go upstairs. I was almost to the top of the stairs, and I fell on that said knee. And I think I had went to the doctor when I was in high school. Now they never did X-ray my knee, but he did put me on crutches for about a week or 2 weeks. I can't remember. And this was bad thing was it was close to my graduation. I actually literally was on crutches on my graduation night, um, because they told me to stay off of that knee. Um, but stupid me, when I was playing volleyball, tried to block for a opponent playing volleyball that was the tallest player that we had. She was, I think she was pretty close to 6 foot, if not already 6 foot. Um, and I'm only five. I'm almost 5'2". I'm 5'1 3/4" of an inch, and so yeah, not very smart for being almost the shortest player to be trying to block a shot from, or a spike from, the tallest player on our team. We were in practice when I did this, and I came down weird. I never did see how I came down, but I felt it, and the coach seen it, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I guess so. I feel fine." Why? And she's like, "Well, you came down kind of weird on your leg there," and she said, "Your knee did something really weird when you came down." I said, "Okay." I, I feel fine. I know I almost fell. I felt, did feel kind of weird, you know. Um, and she's like, "Are you sure you don't need to sit down or anything?" I said, "Yeah, I felt fine. It's just fine." 5 minutes later, we're in the middle of a play, and I dropped to the floor, curled up in the fetal position, and grabbed my knee, just crying, as it felt like somebody had just stabbed me in the knee. Um, and then my mom took me to the doctor, and he just said, "Oh, I just think you bruised it really bad, so I'm going to put you on crutches for about a week or two." I can't remember. It might have been 2 weeks. And then later on, I said, several years later, it started bothering me. And then I did something stupid and tripped on my own 2 feet going up the stairs and landed on that knee really, really hard. And I kept hollering, and nobody heard me. I actually had to message the pastor to try to get somebody to come down there, because nobody could hear me. Of course, it was 3 rooms down, I think it was, that my son was in one of the classrooms with two of the ladies at church, and he had the squeakiest chair. Yeah, it was an office chair that would spin around, but it squeaked so bad that it was so loud in there with them squeaking, they didn't hear me fall. I said, how in the world did y'all not hear this 200 plus pound woman fall on the floor? And I mean, I tell you, I made quite the thud when I fell. And they started laughing at me. And I said, well, I'm just being honest with you. I was like, I just don't know how you guys didn't hear that big thud when I fell. And, but anyway, they're like, well, if your son hadn't have been squeaking that chair, we probably would have heard you. And I was even hollering, hey, y'all, help. Because I couldn't get up off the floor. And, but anyway, the pastor and my husband finally came in and he looked at my knee. He used to be volunteer EMT, I think it was. He used to ride the ambulances and stuff. So he learned a little bit, right? You know, he's like, well, do you mind if I check it to see if you broke it or not? I said, no, go ahead. He checked it out. He's like, I don't think you broke anything. You might have bruised it really bad, or you could have done something else. He said, but I think you just bruised. And my knee swelled up. I was off of it for couple days, but I had to get back up and going because I had to clean the church. And it still flares up once in a while, bothering me, but it's not as much now since I've lost some weight. So I'm hoping that this losing some more weight will help with that and not be so painful. But bone on bone, yeah, I've never got mine checked. I still haven't gotten it checked. Even when I fell at the church, I didn't go get my knee checked. I just dealt with it. And I don't know, it's just giving me troubles here and there. One day we were cleaning the church. The kids came and helped. It was on a Saturday. Things just happened to where I couldn't get up there to the church to clean. I think me and Miss Kitty were both sick at that time, and we had both come down really bad sick. Didn't have the energy to do it, and then other things came up to where the only day I could go really was on a Saturday. And my husband went with us too because he had to clean the baptistry out because we were having a baptism that Sunday. Or no, the following Sunday, I think it was. Anyway, so the kids came and helped. He actually helped with some of the stuff too to get us going home faster. But I had just knelt down to wind the vacuum cleaner cord up and just bending down. And I squatted down, bent my knees, and that knee, it just hurt so bad when I bent down to just simply wind up that cord, and it just felt like somebody had just took and shoved a knife right behind my kneecap, and I suffered through it and got it wound up, and then went downstairs. And while I was going down the stairs, I had to go down kind of weird, but it hurt every step I took to go down that steps. And then I helped with cleaning the two bathrooms downstairs. We all just tag teamed doing stuff. So, but little man likes to clean the inside of the toilet bowls, but don't know how to clean the outside very well. So we usually, if the kids are with me during the summertime, they usually tag team on that. And anyway, Miss Kitty was busy doing something else for me. So I went down there and I cleaned the toilets just to reach the toilet, I'd squatted down and it hurt. And my husband was out there, what the world's wrong with you? Because he heard me moaning and stuff. And every time I'd squat down that knee, it felt like somebody was it just kept getting worse every time. It felt like just somebody stabbed right behind my kneecap, just twisting that knife in there, And so he's like, well, just take and so I just took the rest of the day and just sat on the couch, didn't get up for hardly anything. And he fixed dinner that night and actually brought it to me on the couch. The kids were bringing me ice packs for a while, and that didn't seem to help. The ice packs didn't seem to help too much. It actually seemed like it made it hurt worse. So I was like, well, maybe the heating pad might work. So I was like, hey, the heating pad was sitting next to the little man on over there while he was playing video games. I said, will you plug that in for me and hand it to me? And I stuck that on my knee, and that seemed to help a lot more than anything. And then Sunday, I kind of took it easy. And then I didn't go back to clean the church till I think it was the following Saturday. I don't remember. I took a little longer because we didn't clean till Saturday. So I did a little bit longer, stayed off my knee a lot longer. But yeah, I understand the knee problem of it hurting. It ain't fun at all. Yeah, I wish. It's luckily enough, it's just one knee. Um, my hips bother me ever so often, but that's not good, Lydia. Yeah, when I clean the church, I try to be a little more careful with it, with my knee and stuff. But all I did was, like I said, I don't know what happened. My dad thinks that I may have pulled a tendon in my knee somehow or another. And I'm like, well, I didn't do nothing but squat down. He said, sometimes it don't take much. And I said, okay. It sure hurt. And it still flares up once in a while about it bothering me. So, but it, just keep going and Lord keeps me moving, I guess you could say. But it's been almost an hour. And I know it's been a while. I really do want to say something too, though. If y'all see Miss Connie out on the YT streets, I tell you what, that girl has been such a blessing to me. And that's one of the reasons why I've kept going with this channel this year. I really, I really was ready to give up and not do my channel at all anymore. Um, just wasn't feeling it. Um, but she kept me going. She just out of the blue just started messaging me on Messenger. And there for a while, it was just like every day. Um, but you know what? God really knew that I needed her, and He sent her my way. I guess He just encouraged her to talk to me. And then I started getting worried on days that she didn't message me. Um, but she has been such a blessing to me to encourage me to keep going. Now, I wasn't going to give up on crocheting because I've been crocheting since 1999, when I moved out to Missouri, or from Missouri to Virginia. Um, Originally had started it because I didn't know anybody. We had moved out here from a whole another state over 1,000 miles away, and didn't know anybody in this area. And I was working in I was going to church, but I really didn't know a lot of the people at that church at that time. And so I just, to give me something to do, like on my days off and after work, I started, which actually my sister started crocheting and I seen her crocheting and I said, hey, show me how to do that. And I've been doing ever since. That she only taught me one way how to do it, and she's like, why are you doing it that way? I said, well, you told me just to do it, and I was just doing the back loop only. And she didn't tell me I needed to go through 2 loops. And the single, that's the only thing she taught me, was the single crochet. I already knew how to chain from mom teaching us when we were kids. She taught us how to do the chain, to do like the little friendship bracelet thing, chain bracelets. But anyway, after that, I did, I found me a book, and I found a picture book that actually showed me how to do all the stitches by picture. And I didn't really know about YouTube then. Um, so I just did a book. And so basically, I was just doing flat type of projects. I did do maybe a couple scarves, but mostly blankets. And my very first project was, I had started working on doing like pot holder type size things. And then my boyfriend at that time, he saw me crocheting and he's like, hey, can you do this for me and make me a blanket? And I want it big enough to where if I roll over, it doesn't come off of me and stuff like that. So I was like, okay. And he was a big guy. We're talking definitely over 300-pound guy. Um, so I knew I had to make it fairly big. And I had a blanket that my mom had did for us when I was either teenager or preteen. She got this. It was either queen or king size blanket that she cut in half, and me and my sister had twin blanket, our twin size bunk beds. And basically, when she cut it in half, she hemmed that up along that edge where she cut it in half and made 2 twin size blankets out of that blanket. So what I did was I crocheted a chain across the top of that blanket and then doubled it over across that. So it was either a queen or king size blanket. But the very first project I ever completed, which actually took me 5 years or over 5 years to do, all single crochet and back loop only. I did a queen or king size blanket in the colors of the North Carolina Tar Heels. Now, it was just stripes at that time because I did not know how to do any pattern things like designs or anything like that at that time. Because, like I said, my sister only taught me how to do single crochet, and the only thing I really knew how to do was back loop only. So it was and we still have it today. Because when I got it finished, that boyfriend, me and him had broke up at that time, and we're not together. And I was actually dating my now husband, and when I finally did get it finished, and I told him, I said, look, if you want it, you can have it. I know that it originally was not for you. I said, but if you don't want it, then I will try to see if he'll buy it from me. Because I said I have put way too much work and time into this to just give it to him. So I asked him first if he wanted it. And he said, yeah, sure, I'll take it since you made it. You put a lot of work into it. And so we still have it. We've been married for 21 years. So I'd say that blanket is either 22 or 23 years old. So, we use it in the wintertime because this house, especially in here, this house in particular, this room gets heated by a wood stove. Our bedroom, we block it off, we shut the doors and everything, so the heat will go upstairs for the kids. We do open up the top of the stairs, let the heat go down the hallway for them. So our room does not get heat. When it's extremely, extremely, extremely cold, my husband will run the heater in there, just a little electric heater in there, just to kind of warm it up so it's not too cold. But we don't leave it going all night. And we do have an electric blanket, but the electric blanket plus that crochet blanket and a few other blankets helps us be able to stay warm in there at night. Because I tell you, some nights that bedroom feels like a freezer instead of just a refrigerator. Nights like tonight where it's humid and stuff, he's running the AC and a fan, it feels like a refrigerator in there. It didn't last night because we did not have the AC going or anything because we had no power to run anything like that. So let's see, catch us up. Let's see. So Lydia says, yeah, my physical therapy went to do it on a mat. They had said no more. So, okay, and then Zach says, so does Lydia need surgery or might need?
Yeah, it's been a whole debate in the chat. Whether she needs it or she might need it.
Zach says, my dad got a knee replacement. It didn't work. He regrets it. Oh, I hate that, Zach. Lydia says, Zach, my doctor says yes. Okay. China says, I was going to give up on my channel too, but decided to get back on the saddle, and the surgery happened, just healing. And then Zach says, I've been thinking about giving mine up for a while. No, Zach, don't give yours up. I like going to your channel. I know I've not been on it for a while. Hopefully I can hit you up on Monday, but I don't know. I forget. And like I said, with me not being, I don't know. I've just not been really motivated till recently. You know, like I said, if it wasn't for Connie, I mean, I was on Granny D's for a little bit today until Miss Kitty crashed our internet. Yeah, I'm blaming you for it.
It's not my fault the game I was trying to play takes up so much internet, it breaks everything.
And then I was on Kelly's tonight. I haven't been on Kelly's in a long time. But I've been on yours, Zach, for a while, or a couple times. Actually, I think I've been on yours more than I've been on Kelly's.
Zach, it's not my fault. The game I was trying to play with a friend of mine is still in its beta phase and takes a ton of internet to play multiplayer. And it just so happens that our internet is so terrible that it takes so much that it crashes everything else. Because the Xbox has priority.
And then the China says, "Oh, now you need surgery." Lydia says, "I see surgery doctor on October 16th. Okay. Yeah, that's not fun. Only having one day off a week, Zach. That's kind of rough. I don't envy you on that one. I've had those weeks before. Now, it wasn't on purpose, though. They didn't schedule me that way because Walmart don't do that. Um, but I have had those weeks like that because somebody called out, or have had days where uh, I had to work from open to close because I worked in the auto center and we opened from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And there was days that I would work. No, actually, I think we stayed open till, what was it, 8 or 9? I don't remember. It's been several years. I know they're open 7 to 7 now. And it used to be only 9 to 6 on Sundays. And I think they are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Sundays now. But anyway, um, but there was days that I would work and I'd come in and I'd have the morning shift and I'd have to pull and stay till we closed. And because the person that was supposed to work that night called out, and the other girl that we had, my manager knew if he called her, she wouldn't come in. Um, so there was days that I pulled a double shift, or there was days that I had took Miss Kitty to school, and I was on my way to take little man to the babysitters, but there was like, because I had the late shift and didn't have to be there till like 11. I had a little bit of time that me and little man would spend some time together doing something. Sometimes we'd go to Dairy Queen for breakfast, or we would just or we'd go to Dollar General store, look around for a little bit just to pass time till I needed to take him to the babysitters. Then I'd look at my phone. Oh, hey, you got a message. It was the boss. Hey, can you come in? Because so-and-so called out. If you can, that would be great if you get here as soon as possible. So I'm like, okay. So I'd have to call the babysitter. Hey, I'm on my way because they need somebody, and I'm going to have to work longer. So, yeah, I don't miss those days. Let's see, where was I? Let's see, okay, then you don't need surgery, then Lydia, if you haven't seen the doctor yet. Well, this is exactly, I mean, if she's seeing a surgeon, they probably have referred her to go see the surgeon for a reason, meaning that she does need it. At least that's how our doctors here in the States work. As long if you get the referral to a surgeon, you basically, yeah, you need it. Okay. Zach says, "No worries, Charity. I know you still support Miss Kitty. How could you crush the internet?" He was just picking on you. You catch that LOL back there.
I know. I was just thinking back.
Yeah, it's a particular game that she likes to play with one of her friends, and once she gets it going, as long as it's running,
Once I'm loaded into the server, everything's fine.
We might have a little bit of internet issues of buffering here and there, but I was in the middle of watching Granny D and didn't, no warning, just all of a sudden, and I looked up because the circle over Granny D's face just kept going and going and going. And I looked over at the screen. I said, you're playing that game. So I knew exactly what she was playing. So So yeah, basically, Zach, what she is saying that yes, the doctors are basically telling her that she does need surgery, but he can't order it to be done. She has to go see a surgeon doctor for him to confirm yes, she needs surgery and schedule her for said surgery. Because that's basically what they did with Miss Kitty for her wisdom teeth. She went to her pediatric dentist, and he's like, yeah, you're going to need surgery, but you're going to have to go see a dental surgeon. Or what do they call it? Anyway, so we had to schedule an appointment with a dentist that actually does surgery, teeth removal, and they went ahead and he said, all right, just let me know what dentist office that you're going to go to, because he gave me a list of referrals. Now, he did go ahead and send the x-ray. I think he went ahead and sent the x-rays over to the first one on the list, but when I called them, they wouldn't take a certain insurance that we have for her. So we called this other place and got her scheduled in for them. And so they have to take, like, anyway, we had to go. In the very first appointment we had, even though he had the x-rays and everything, he had to look at the x-rays and talk to her. And I guess some of it really was more or less to let her know what to be expected. And two, for us to sign certain papers of this, hey, this may happen and you need to look for this. It gave us a lot of stuff that I had to initial, sign, all that wonderful paperwork. Felt like I was signing my life away. But anyway, he had to look at her x-rays and said, yes, she needs surgery. Your pediatric dentist was right. So we are going to cause trouble again. Yes, she is. She loves to cause trouble. Yeah, I see that grin over there.
Doing that. Wait, that's a double negative. That means I gotta drink something.
No, actually, Zach, the teeth thing that she inherited from me. That's one of the things the dentist joked about her pediatric dentist. He's like, yeah, your bottom teeth are turned at an angle. It was a 45-degree angle, and kind of he said she had enough room up top, but the other dentist said she didn't. But they actually have broke through the ones up here, but the bottom ones are causing some pain for her. But I told her, I said, if you don't feel like chewing food and stuff like that, I definitely understand. Because when I was in high school, I had to have mine taken out, all four, my wisdom teeth, which, like her, the bottom ones were at an angle, pushing towards my teeth. And then the top ones were pushing on my teeth really bad, too, because I had no room. I had no room at all up here for them. And basically they said, yep, you need to have those taken out. But anyway, it took us 2 or 3 months before she finally, I tell you, stuff out here is crazy. The one dentist that actually didn't take her insurance that we needed them to take could get her in like that within 2 weeks or so. The dentist that actually takes her insurance, it was 2 or 3 months later when he finally could see her. And after we did finally get her in, and he's like, oh yeah, she needs her wisdom teeth taken out, and we will have to do them surgically because they are what they call impacted. She cannot get seen and to actually have them removed until January. And we just went and seen them. What was it? August, I think it was. Yes, because it was Alexis's birthday. August 8th was when she got to go see them, and she can't get in until the end of January to have them taken out. So she's still got several months to go before she can have them taken out. And I think we got somebody else in here popped in. It's Mishi. Hi, Mishi. Welcome in. Well, they are on Lydia. These guys, because I don't work and my husband's the only one that works, that we actually qualify for these guys to be on Medicaid. So, and he does have dental insurance through his work for the whole family. So, what the Medicaid does for these guys is whatever the insurance that he has, what they don't pay, the Medicaid pays the rest of it. And that's the reason why we're doing it that way, because we couldn't afford it if we didn't have it at all. We'd have to get a loan just to pay for her surgery to get done. So Zach says, I don't remember when I got my wisdom teeth out. I slept the day away. Yeah, pretty much here. I remember a little bit of it. I do remember that the lady kept, when they woke me up, the lady kept telling me, hey, honey, hey, sweetheart, you need to wake up, open your eyes. And I'm thinking to myself, my eyes are open. I think at one point I did say, my eyes are open. But I remember all I could see was just dark. Everything was black, and I couldn't see where I was going. But she was guiding me. She's like, "Do you need?" And she's like, "Well, at least you're talking to us, so that's good that we know you're awake. But you do need to open your eyes." So I'm like, I'm trying. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, man, this lady keeps calling me sweetheart and honey. I don't know who the heck she is. And I wanted to say, look, lady, I don't know who you are. I ain't your honey and I ain't your sweetheart. Please stop calling me that. And but I knew that mom was there, and I knew that I'd get smacked across the mouth if I said that. Even if I had just got surgery, I knew she'd smack me one for saying something like that. Which I'm glad I did not say it, because afterwards I found out that it was the neighbor lady. And I had grew up with her two sons and went to school with them years ago. At that time, when I had gotten this done, I wasn't going to the same school as her kids anymore. I was going to a Christian school. But that just was what was going through my head was, I don't know who you are. Quit calling me that. But I kept my mouth shut, as I knew that mom wasn't far, and I knew she would have smacked me across the face for saying something rude. So I didn't say anything. But I actually pretty much slept about a week straight, because the medicine they gave me for for after the surgery, and the dentist told my mom, he says, don't let the pain medicine wear off on her for at least the first few days, because if you do let it wear off, she's going to be in a lot of pain. And I know I was in high school when I had them taken out. But see, I think by Wednesday, I think I might have had it done on a Monday. I don't remember. Memory serves me right. I think it was a Monday when Mom took me to have it done. And by Wednesday, I was determined I was going to go to church Wednesday night. I regretted it because I didn't take the medicine, so I'd stay awake. And before I got home that night, I was in so much pain. And I got up, I got dressed. I didn't look at myself in the mirror. I just brushed my hair and went to church. And I didn't brush my teeth either, but I was worried about the stitches and everything. So and it was still hurt, pretty sore. I didn't want to rip the stitches out. So I didn't brush my teeth yet at that point. But everybody looked at me and they were like, you look terrible. And some of them were laughing at me. And they're like, you look like a chipmunk. By the time I got home, I'm like, what the world are these people talking about? Why are they laughing and saying you look terrible? And I was like, well, medicine wore off by that time. I'm like, I was grumpy. I was glaring at them. I looked in the mirror and I said, oh my goodness. My cheeks were so full. My cheeks were way out there. I said, yep, they were right. I did look like a daggone chipmunk with its cheeks just stuffed full of nuts. Basically what I looked like. And so I was like, not doing that again. So I took the medicine. I laid back down and went to bed. I slept the rest of the week. And I survived on milkshakes. Vanilla milkshakes for a whole week. I could have other things as long as it didn't have seeds in it and stuff, but I didn't want anything else. I just wanted milkshake. So Mom was okay. She let me have milkshake. So basically, when I needed to take medicine, she's like, you ain't taking this medicine on empty stomach. So you need to eat something or get something here. I said, milkshake, please. She'd fix me a vanilla milkshake. I'd rather had strawberry, but they didn't have a strawberry without the seeds in it. So I had to do with vanilla. Let's see. Samishi says I had mine removed the year before. Oh, wow. So you just got it, yours removed 2019? Zach said you had his removed year 2. He was 26 or 20. Wow. They say it's better for it when you have them done when you're younger. I'm glad I was a teenager.
Later that he was actually 25.
Yeah. So, well, even still, then, because even your dentist said the younger you are, the better. Because he was actually surprised that hers is already coming in because she's 15. She'll be 16 in December. But he was kind of surprised hers is already in. Mine, I think my junior or senior year, so it was about 17 or 18, somewhere in there when I had mine taken out. Before the surgery, I couldn't chew anything. With so much pressure, the teeth pushing, it hurt to chew anything. So that's why I told her, I said, just let me know if it's bothering you, because I know all about that. I survived for about I can't remember. It was about 2 or 3 weeks before I had the surgery. It was so excruciating just to try and chew anything that I had carnation breakfast drink stuff for breakfast in the morning, and then I had soup for lunch and dinner. And it was cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, cream of broccoli, stuff that I could just swallow, not have to chew anything. And occasionally broccoli and cheddar soup, but I had that for lunch and dinner for until right before the surgery. And because I couldn't chew anything for breakfast and stuff, couldn't chew eggs, couldn't chew cereal, that kind of stuff, it just hurt so bad just to try to chew. That my mom had got me the breakfast carnation stuff. That way, at least I got vitamins and then I got some protein for the milk. So she gave me that. Let's see. I think I lost it. Where was I? Okay. Yeah, they did knock me out for it. They are actually, when I went in, they had asked me if I had been gassed before, as far as like a gas instead of putting the IV on me. And I was like, yeah, I had the gas mask when I was in first grade for surgery, because I was born with a hernia, and by first grade it started bothering me and stuff, so I had to go have that fixed. But so they ended up they did IV for me. And he's like, okay. So they did the IV. He's like, all right, count from 100 backwards. I was like 199, 98. I was out. And I think I'd rather take the IV stuff over that gas mask, because, that was rough. I remember that. They put that gas mask on me, and they tried to get me to count. Of course, I was in first grade. How well my counting is, I really don't remember. But I know the doctor was talking to me. He's like, you're going to experience the room spinning. I'm like, yep, it did. They put that mask on me, that gas mask thing, and the doctor was spinning one direction, and next thing I know, bloop, I was blacked out. I was gone. And then I woke up in the recovery room, and everything spun the other direction when I came up, when I was waking up. It was funny because that's what I remember distinctly, was that the doctor started spinning this way, and then when I woke up, everything in the room went the other direction. I was like, whoa. Talk about motion sickness. Let me tell you, that was not fun. I tried to get up out of the bed too. Of course, first grade, kids don't want to stay still. I tried to climb out of the bed, and the nurse was like, oh, no, you can't get up. Don't be getting up, And she's like looking around for a wheelchair, and she looked at me, and she looked how small I was. She said, that wheelchair going to swallow you, girl. She said, don't tell nobody, but I ain't supposed to do this, but I'm going to carry you back to your room, because you ain't going to fit in that wheelchair. She said, that thing's way too big for you. So she did. She picked me up and carried me to my room. And daggone it, if I didn't went back to sleep in the bed, even after I woke up and they got me in the room. And daggone if I didn't wake up to the smell of McDonald's. Oh, I was so mad. My dad had went and got him some lunch at McDonald's and was sitting in the room with us eating that daggone McDonald's, and I couldn't have any. I was sitting there eating McDonald's in front of a first grader right after they had surgery, and they couldn't have any solid foods. That was mean. I I was so mad. But yeah, I woke up to my dad sitting next to me eating McDonald's French fries. And I was mad. Because I couldn't have any. The only thing they would let me have was this little frozen fruit thingy. And even then, they were worried. They were like, you can't have anything yet, but I'm hungry. I didn't have nothing to eat after so much time that day. It was in the afternoon, and I hadn't had nothing to eat. I was starving. I said, look, here, I am hungry. I ain't ate nothing all day. I want something to eat. And they're like, but if you eat something, you're going to throw it back up. I said, I don't care. I'm hungry. But they finally gave me that, and I didn't stay down. But I was determined I was wanting something to eat. But that's all they would let me have. And later, I think they let me have some broth, and I was able to keep that down. But I just remember waking up in that room was just, whoo, boy, that was not fun. So I definitely would take the IV over having the gas mask anytime, because if the room's going to spin around like that, not with my motion sickness. Oh no, they broke a crown. Ooh, I hope they paid for it to fix it. Yeah, they had a hard time waking me up too. I think Zach was saying that they knocked him out. They had a hard time waking him up. Says, now I'm a little afraid if I ever need another surgery, I won't wake up. Ooh. Maybe they can give you some other kind of stuff that won't knock you out so bad, or make it to where it's less. And Lizzie said she was in high school when she got her wisdom teeth out. And Mishi, I couldn't open my eyes after gallbladder surgery. Freaked me out. And I was up and moving, and they were forcing me to move and stuff for the wisdom teeth, but I couldn't. I don't know. I thought my eyes were open, but apparently they weren't. But they said, well, at least you're talking to us and moving. But so they took that. Um, and I had my gallbladder removed too. But I woke up for that one. They let me wake up on my own. They didn't wake me up. Um, I actually had it removed right after I had Miss Kitty. So I've not had mine for almost 16 years now. So yeah, I've had, let's see, had hernia surgery, had wisdom teeth taken out. Then I think the next no, let's see. Then I had her because she wanted to come out backwards, so I did surgery for her. And then I had the gallbladder surgery. So I think that's about all the surgeries I've had so far. But I do believe that the epidural they gave me when I had her was the same strength that I had when I had little man. Is, or actually, I think they gave me stronger for him than what I had for her, because it took longer for the epidural to wear off with him, and I had him regular, natural, um, other than the epidural. But um, with the cesarean with her, you know, and they say that's, I've heard that's a reason why that I have a hard time losing weight too, is because of the way they cut me. Um, or anybody that has a cesarean, it's hard for them to lose weight because where they've cut those muscles across there and nerve endings, that it's hard to tone that your stomach area back up. I asked my mom and my dad what happened and why did it happen. Yeah, she's wanting me to video her when she gets out of her thing for her teeth. There's some kids that kind of talk out of their head. I remember being awake enough to hear the lady talking to me and stuff and telling me to open my eyes, and I was like, my eyes are open. She's like, no, they're not. So, I mean, I was still kind of out of it there, and I remember it afterwards that I said that to her, but and I remember thinking, and I know I didn't say it because I know if I had said it, Mama would have smacked me, and she never said anything to me either, and she would have fussed at me, too, but I just kept thinking in my head, lady, I am not your sweetheart, and I am not your honey. Please stop calling me that. But I tell you, I am so glad that I did not say anything because I said that was my neighbor, that she was the assistant to that doctor or the dentist that did that. And actually, back then, he actually was my regular dentist plus the surgeon that did my teeth, and it was the same dentist office that we went to. We didn't have to go to a dental surgeon for to have it done. We went to the same dentist that, you know. And me, she says she had 2 C-sections. Yeah, I almost had a second one with little man. Um, Something about the placenta being in the wrong place and everything. There was a little bit of the scare of that with him, but they said it moved enough to where I wasn't any harm of it. Uh, Doing natural delivery with him. I actually was scheduled for C-section for him, and I went into labor with him. I think it was like a week and a day before the scheduled uh, C-section, and they talked me out of doing a C-section. And then partway through delivering him, they're like, "Oh, we may have to do emergency C-section with him because his heart rate is going down, and but we're gonna get the main head doctor and see what she says." And she got in there. They ended up not having to. She helped me out getting having him. But Zach says phone needs charge, so I'm gonna head out. All right, bye, Zach. Have a good one. One on there that's not showing up on my phone. What the world? Huh? They didn't. They didn't tell me that, Mishi. Um, yeah, my phone's being stupid right now. It's not. It says good night, Zach, but it's not showing me the other message that Mishi put up there. It says dangerous to have natural after C-section due to danger of rupture. Um, but they told me that now that I've had both, one of each, if I had another kid, I still have the option of doing natural instead of C-section. But if I had done C-section with him for the second pregnancy, that if I got pregnant again and had another child, I definitely would have to have C-section again the third time. But I was like, we're good. After 2 kids, I'm done. I tell you, we joke about it, but I'm dead serious. My husband looked at me one day as we were watching my son just running around and terrorizing the house. He looked at me and he said, my husband looked at me one day, he says, if we had him first, do you think we would have had another kid? I said, nope. I said, absolutely not. Miss Kitty spoiled us rotten because she was the very well-behaved one. I don't know. They about tied now. I've got the teenage attitude and the preteen attitude for little man. I don't know which is worse. But as little man, I don't know where he gets it from, but he's got to have the last word when we have an argument. And I'm just like, look, dude, I told you, conversation's over. We're done with this. No more. We're done. but nope, we're done. Conversation's over. just go. So, but anyway, I was gonna get off of here about an hour ago, and it's been an hour and 45 minutes, y'all. Going on almost 2 hours. So, and yes, I know it's been a long time since I've been on here. Some of you, if you could, get the replay on the first part of it if you missed it, because I did show the progress that I got done on the blanket that I was working on. I will show you because I got 2 going right now. I'm trying to get done for my nieces. Sesame Street one. That's one of them for one of the younger ones. And then I am doing my own color scheme without the Sesame Street characters for my other squares. I've got all the squares done now. Now I just got to sit down and make sure all the tails are sewed in and then start sewing the squares together. Now my Sesame Street one, I did not get all 9 of the characters that there was available because the store that I got them at did not have the count. Bert's ear is here. Y'all are wondering. It looked like he only had one. He does have both. It just keeps flipping in. But they didn't have the count. And so I got 2 of the Cookie Monster because he's out of all of these that they have the characters of. I did like the count, and I wish I could have gotten him. But the ones that they did have, Cookie Monster was my ultimate favorite one out of the ones they had. Now, if they had my ultimate favorite character, I would have absolutely loved that. But they don't have him. My ultimate favorite Sesame Street character is Snuffleupagus, and they did not have him. And I was kind of surprised they didn't because that was one of Big Bird's best friends. Besides, anyway. And I also like Oscar. I was debating on whether Cookie Monster or Oscar. Cookie Monster had blue. Oscar was green. I like blue, so I added an extra Cookie Monster. So, anyway, hopefully it won't be as long for me to get back on here. So I'm going to go through my other squares, make sure all the tails are sewed in, and then start figuring out how I'm going to piece them together and then start sewing them together. And by next time, hopefully I'll have at least one of them done and sewed together and completed or partially there. But like I said, I get bored with things, so I'll work on this project a little bit here, and then I'll work on this project over here. I do have some projects in bags that are for my on the go that I'll take with me when I go wait for the bus for little man in the afternoons, because in the mornings when we wait for the bus in the morning, he likes for me to read stories to him. So I keep a little story book that he likes, and I'm actually been getting into it myself, reading a series of books. And so we sit there and read until the bus gets there in the mornings. and I have to turn the light on anyway in the car, so it's really not that light enough in the car to crochet. So I wait until the afternoon when I'm by myself waiting for the bus to crochet. And that also goes with me to like doctor's offices, stuff like that, or even I crochet at church during service because I can't focus on what the pastor's saying if I don't have something with my hands busy. I can concentrate on his sermons better when I got something in my hands. So I just sit there and I usually pick one that I don't have to either count or it's just an easy pattern that I can just roll with it. So anyway, right now I'm working on a shawl that I take with me. So oh, one of the things that the dentist office told us whenever we went to schedule her for her appointment, which is not till January for her teeth, the lady at the desk looked at me and she says, "You do have to be here for the surgery." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Well, she can't drive. I got to bring her here anyway. No, we're talking like while she's in surgery, you have to stay here. You can't drop her off and go down the road and get coffee and come back. I was like, wasn't planning on it. She's like, "Oh, you would be surprised how many parents try to do that, or other people that have brought somebody else that, that's their, you know, adult child, and they just bring them to drop them off and then go down the road and then come back later." But they said, "No, you have to stay the whole time she's in surgery." I was like, wasn't planning on going nowhere. I said, I'm hopefully got my coffee that I'm bringing with me because I got an hour drive to get here. So I definitely need that coffee to be awake to drive here. So I said, yeah, planning on having coffee when we come. Already in hand. So, and I will be bringing a project with me. I don't know which one it is, because that one hopefully will be done before she gets her surgery. But anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful and blessed weekend. The rest of it, it looks like I'm going to be staying home with little man because he's had a fever off and on. It's a low-grade fever, but in order to get him back to school, we got to get him better. But we also don't want anybody at church because we got a lot of elderly ladies and people in our church that we don't want to make sick, that I believe I'm going to be staying home with him. But at least I can watch because our church services is on YouTube now. That I can sit here and watch the service on TV, and hopefully get him better enough to go back to school. So, and Lydia, we will be praying for you and your knee, that everything goes well for you and that you can have the surgery you need if that's what you need, which it sounds like it, that they've tried physical therapy and then that's not working for you. But if you say it's bone on bone, then yeah, it definitely sounds like you need some surgery, because that's not fun, and I've heard that it is extremely painful. Our pastor is dealing with that himself, that he's actually seen a surgeon, but they've told him he needs to lose a lot of weight before they will do the surgery on him. He's a big, very tall, very, very tall dude, but he was over 400 pounds. He has been losing some weight. I don't know what he has to get down to before they will do the surgery on his knee. But he basically is in that same situation. He has this bone on bone, but he also, the ligaments that are supposed to be in there in his knee, behind his knee or whatever, those are gone completely. He has no ligaments in that knee at all. The doctors are just baffled that he's actually standing and moving, because he has no ligaments. But they're worried because he could make one move a certain way or fall on that knee a certain way, and his leg would be bent the other direction, the wrong way, because he has no ligaments keeping his knee from going that direction. So he definitely needs the prayers for that. But and so he is trying to lose some weight so he can get that fixed, hopefully. But we will keep you in our prayers, Lydia, for your knee, and I tell you, I know personally that it's no fun. And anybody that's got back pain, I feel you too, because I deal with that daily. I go to a chiropractor every 2 weeks. And, I get pinched nerves in my neck from my neck going out of whack, um, and they fix that too. And I get those migraines are terrible. Um, but anyway, I will see y'all later, and hopefully next time it won't be as long. So, and it was good to see y'all and talk to y'all again for a little bit. Thanks for listening to me chit chat. Anyway, I hope the rest of your weekend is wonderful. You have a wonderful and blessed weekend. And I'll see y'all later. Bye, y'all.